Hey Gwynlos, I just got back from my daily 18-mile run uphill while carrying 300 pounds of sand on my back, and I gotta say, I'm really parched. Normally what I do is drink about a gallon of water to hydrate and make myself feel better, but actually, I think that I want my stomach to hurt for the rest of the day. Lucky for me, there's a drink that can do just that. It's called milk. I'm sure that a lot of you are familiar with advertising for milk, especially those of us in the US, which have been subjected to got milk ads for the past 30 years since their inception. I at least remember seeing them all the time when I was a kid. Those and their sister campaign, Fuel Up to Play 60, which is basically the NFL's version at my school. On top of being absolutely bombarded with ads at home and school, at home my older relatives were also telling me about the importance of milk and how I should have a glass of it every single day. So I did. I listened to them and I had a cup of milk every single day. But now that I'm an adult with real person thoughts, that's probably not such a good idea. I look back now at what happened in my schools and what was advertised to me, and it's just kind of odd. I began to think that maybe, possibly, perhaps, perchance, that these dairy farmers trying to sell me milk didn't have my best interest at heart. First, I'd like to go back to the beginning, and I'm not talking about when the first farmer saw a calf drinking from a cow and thought, actually, I think I can have some of that now. Like I said, we've seen these got milk ads for about 30 years, ever since it was started in California in 1993. It was conceived when, much like recently, dairy consumption was steadily declining. This was because soft drinks and other beverages had started taking their market value, which made Big Milk very angry. And so, they made this commercial.
Dancing D, one of my all-time favorites. And now, let's make that random call with today's $10,000 question. It's a tough one. Who shot Alexander Hamilton in that famous duel? All right, let's go to the phones and see who's out there.
Hello?
Hello, for $10,000, who shot... Excuse me?
Hold on, let me get some milk. No!
I'm afraid your time is almost up. I'm sorry, maybe next time.
Got milk?
This commercial is pretty famous. It actually won awards for how good it was at being an ad. It's quick, it depicts the person without the product in a humorously bad situation, it's got a snappy tagline, and honestly, it's just pretty funny. It's a pretty funny scenario. Imagine being so interested in a relationship between two different men that your house is lined with all of their stuff. Kinda seems to me that you're interested in two different types of milk. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, since then, Got Milk has been one of the biggest and most successful advertising campaigns of all time, completely getting rid of whatever stranglehold Big Coke, the soda one, not the CIA, had on the beverage market. And to be completely honest, I actually love some of these commercials. They're genuinely really funny. Like the one where an old man that never drank any milk becomes a Lego game character that loses all his parts because he didn't drink any milk. Or the one where a pilot makes the plane take a nosedive in order to take a glass of milk from the flight attendant's cart. Basically what I'm saying is that it's not hard to see why it became the biggest advertising campaign. What's intrigued me recently about them though is that I don't actually recall seeing many of them on TV when I was a kid in the early 2000s. Where I did actually see them was plastered all over the walls of my school, along with a bunch of other dairy conglomerate ads. The most common ones were telling us to go outside and run around in the Texas heat and then come inside for a drink of milk. And so I did, and then I wondered why the hell my stomach always hurt. This didn't just start because of Got Milk either. This has been the norm since about 1946, when the National School Lunch Program was put into place. Back then, they were trying to figure out where the hell to put all their surplus stock, and so Congress just said, I don't know, kids probably, I guess. After that, schools were required to serve a cup of milk with every single lunch, which was huge for big dairy and big tummy aches alike. After the USDA created the very first federal dietary guidelines in 1980 saying that maybe that wasn't such a good idea, the National Dairy Promotion and Research Board was created, which is a semi-governmental institution that exists solely for the purpose of selling more milk to people. All of this information was found from this really cool Vox article, and if you're interested in any of this, I really recommend reading it. As a kid, you typically don't question things that authority figures tell you. That's why we have such big laws on ads towards kids. So because of that, it never occurred to me that it was a little bit strange that dairy farmers had such a big hand in funding my education. Schools that take funding from the US government are subject to whatever rules or regulations they put in place, which I think is generally a good thing because it keeps people from overstepping their bounds. The problem with our system, though, is that the people who make those guidelines are legally allowed to accept what basically amount to bribes. So Big Milk comes waltzing in with their fat stacks of cash and they say, hey, I think that this substance made by cows for cows should be the only drink that children have access to. That's why, and I'm about to use anecdotal evidence, water, at least at the schools I went to, cost extra, and you weren't allowed to leave the cafeteria during lunch, so you weren't going to the water fountain to get a drink either. It's strange that this is still the case, especially since, according to the Lancet, over 1 in 3 people are lactose intolerant. Not only is that number going up, you are more likely to get it as you get older. So many high schoolers were wasting cartons of milk. I used to drink multiple cups of milk a day, and now I can barely stomach 1 glass whenever I'm having it with something I think it actually goes well with. And for some reason, it's still pushed on kids and, frankly, adults like their lives depend on it. This was the norm up until high school. It was $2 extra to get a bottle of water, and you still were required to get a carton of milk that you weren't gonna drink, you just had to take it. Plus, they got rid of strawberry milk when I was in the 1st grade, so what's even the point anymore? I know it's not as serious as a lot of other things going on with advertising and children, but the fact that these dairy farmers are able to not only push out all these advertisements on TV showing how people will become a broken Lego man without their milk, but then also use that same slogan in schools to keep kids thinking about the importance of milk, just really rubs me the wrong way. It's especially awful considering the fact that, like I said, kids are wasting almost half of the milk in schools anyways. Back in 2019, the USDA said that 41% of the milk supplied to schools was getting discarded by children on their lunch trays. So dairy farmers' biggest customers don't even like this stuff. The title of this video is mostly a joke because yes, I understand that people need to be advertised to so they can be persuaded to buy a product, but I was told everywhere in every facet of my life that this thing was essential to my development, and it's just not. I can't even stomach a glass of the stuff anymore. It feels like indoctrination, like they're trying to lock in customers for life. By making it the only thing available to them, they get used to it. It's what they know. It certainly worked on me, at least for a while. And if I'm being honest, it's not even that good. Milk is basically only good if you're having it with like cookies or cereal. And even then, I'd rather not because god damn the acne. It was very clearly not good for some kids, including me, and yet it was still the only option. Obviously, milk can be part of a healthy diet if you can stomach it. For a lot of people, it's inflammatory, and it shouldn't be the only drink available when you come inside from a hot day. There are so many better ways to get exactly what milk gives you that don't make you go, ooh, ow, my tummy hurt, ooh. But these dairy organizations have been constantly fighting to make sure that you don't have access to them. In 2022 and 23, they were fighting to get the word milk out of plant-based products like almond and soy milk. They even made a satirical ad about wood milk, which was alleged to be illegal because you can't do that whenever you're a governmental institution. The worst part was the semantics of what real milk was. I don't care what real milk is. It makes my tummy hurt. For some reason, with milk and milk products specifically, we have so many weird rules and laws and regulations put in place to make sure that this drink is the dominant beverage in the market. Most of the public has proven that they do not even want it, considering the sharp decline in sales within the past 10 years. Going back to that Vox article, which you should definitely read, There was this case where a girl named Mariel Williamson wanted to protest milk at her school. More specifically, she wanted to protest the practices of the dairy industry and promote alternatives, like plant-based milk. When she finally got the go-ahead from her school, she was told that in order to do so, she would also have to promote the benefits of milk. Eventually, after months, a lawsuit filed that argued her free speech was being stifled was finally settled, and she was able to protest milk at her school. It's honestly scary how much of a stranglehold this big-ass cow has on schools. Gonna double check, make sure I'm still recording. I am. All of this while, according to a CDC report in 2021, about half of school-aged children are underhydrated. They require access to some sort of drink to fix that. I don't know what that would be. People are just so weird about milk. So many of them will tell you that you absolutely have to have some every day, or at least consistently, when in the population of the US, at least a third of us are inflamed by it, and in the world, 70%. That number is only going up, too. But Antonio, you must be asking, what if I want it to be worse and actually want it to hurt more? Have you heard of raw milk? Delicious, brownish yellow, unpasteurized milk? I'm sorry, I didn't have anywhere else to put this. I just really wanted to talk about it. A new alternative to milk products is actually coming in the form of a milk product, except worse. For some unknown reason, some people have decided that it isn't enough to just drink milk from a different animal. They actually don't want it treated for anything or made safe for human consumption. Ooh, I just can't get enough of that raw milk, that ooey gooey. Should it be gooey? Don't drink raw milk, please. If you're watching my channel and you overlap with the people that drink raw milk, please stop. If there is a chance that you will die, actually there is a chance you will die. And I can't be losing subs here, I only got so many. Anyways, this was just on my mind recently. I've been reminiscing about days past, aka 2 years ago when I was still in high school, and I was just thinking about the fact that water bottles cost extra and milk was required to even get a tray of lunch. Unfortunately, this is going to take a lot of time and effort to change, considering the fact that we're still arguing about whether or not at publicly mandated school, kids could get their lunch for free, let alone what comes on them. All of the big companies that supply food to schools don't want anything to change. They don't want to lose such a loyal customer that doesn't get a say in how they're fed or what they consume. If you want to drink milk, hell yeah, brother, go for it. But I just think that people who don't want to drink it should also have the option not to. Water should be an option, considering the fact that we already have taps at schools. Why not just get cups? It's been proven time and time again that it's not essential to us, especially considering the fact that we literally grow out of being able to drink it. Looking back at all these funny got milk ads, they're just the face of something much deeper and honestly a little bit sinister. Teaching kids that they cannot live without this thing and it's essential to their survival, and putting regulations in place to make sure that they're always consuming it. It sucks, man. But the best part of being an adult is I go to college now, and so I don't have to care about any of that, and I can just drink almond milk. Also, I just wanted to say again, thank you so much for the immense support I've been getting. It really, really means a lot. I've never done anything like this before, so I'll just come out and say it. I make a mug. I also make stickers. I think these are really cool. I designed them all myself. I had a really good time doing it, and I just like them. There's this big sticker on the sticker sheet that I made specifically for it. It says Guino on it. It denotes you as a Guino of the Antoguino channel. Just in case you didn't know, that's what you are because you watch my videos, and you cannot change that. It took me a little while to make sure that these were quality because, like I said in my YouTube sponsors video, I don't want to sell you guys anything that I wouldn't buy myself, and I'm really happy about this. I'm a little bit of a mug collector myself, and I really like this. Only buy them if you want them and can afford them. Otherwise, do not waste your money on them, okay? These are these are needs. These are wants. These are not needs. I appreciate all of your support all the same. It really does mean a lot, and I'm not gonna think less of you if you don't buy my stuff. Anyways, Gwynlos, I gotta go finish dragging all that sand back to the sand factory. I think when I'm done, I'm gonna drink a whole gallon of milk and then probably throw up. Bye.
Keep stepping at your, keep stepping at your own pace, keep stepping at your,